Coming to you live from George Finney Stadium in Berea, Ohio. Welcome inside our coverage of Baldwin Wallace University football this afternoon. It is homecoming week for BW as they host their OAC foe, the Marietta Pioneers. I'm Brendan Gulick alongside Jason Lacey. A nice win on the road for the Yellow Jackets last week at Muskingum, a game they topped the Fighting Muskies 34-28 in New Concord. And obviously when you get a nice road win after a tough rivalry home loss, that starts to set things back in motion the right direction, Jason. I think they've got certainly a good chance today against a Marietta team that's very beatable.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to pick back up that momentum that they may have lost in that tough loss to John Carroll last time out at home. Definitely a time here to pick back up that momentum, as you mentioned, with that great win at Muskie last week. So I think this is definitely time for BW to make a statement and show that they will have a winning season this year and don't put themselves on the edge of having that losing record.
Tyler Meglin definitely had the best game of his young season so far. The senior quarterback, 18 of 27 in last week's ballgame for 215 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was also the team's leading rusher, 16 carries for 80 yards and an additional touchdown. His favorite target last week, 9 catches for $123 for Brian Cook. He scored 2 touchdowns, including a 44-yarder. Definitely a breakout game for him.
Yeah, definitely something I look to see more of here today. Brian Cook, the deep threat out of Talmadge, Ohio, somebody with a little bit of height and weight to him and a lot of athleticism. Good way to stretch the field there with Cook, and looking to see more of that connection continue over to this week.
Well, the offense really hasn't been much of BW's problem this year. They've done a good job pretty much in all 4 of their first 4 games, averaging 365 yards a game. The kind of the cliffhanger, if you will, is that the defense hasn't really lived up to their end of the bargain. They're giving up almost 400 yards of offense per game, and while they were able to hold off Muskingum at the end of the game, probably not their best effort last weekend defensively.
Yeah, Brendan, definitely think this defense is is a group that could show their talents here today. Only 6 sacks on the year, 3 interceptions. So I feel like today is a time where they can get pressure on that quarterback, get some sacks, and maybe force him to throw some unwanted passes, hopefully some turnovers here for the Yellow Jackets on defense.
A couple of adjustments on the depth chart for BW today on defense. Kerry Sparrow has been lost for the season due to injury, so Nate Furster will start at cornerback for him. Also, Damon Bolin is going to be one of the starting defensive ends, usually a linebacker, but coming up to the front 4 today. Hopefully that'll ignite the defense.
Yeah, looking to get some more pressure on that quarterback, maybe a little bit more speed there on that D-line. Definitely I feel like they apply pressure with their 2 tackles. Lawrence Wolf and number 92, Ian Harmon, do a great job of applying pressure and making quarterbacks fluster out of the pocket and rush their decisions.
On the whole, if you haven't followed BW football too closely this year, they are 2-2, 2-1 in conference play. They lost the opening game of the year to Bluffton before going on the road and winning a hard-fought victory at Ohio Northern. 2 weeks ago, they lost here at home to John Carroll before going back and beating Muskingum last weekend. On the Marietta side of things, we'll take actually, you know what? Let's take a quick timeout. I think we're going to have the national anthem here. I don't want to talk during that, so we'll be right back. We're supposed to have the anthem yet. Welcome back to George Finney Stadium. After the national anthem is concluded, we'll continue to get you set for today's game between Marietta and Baldwin Wallace. We talked a little bit about BW there before the anthem. Let's focus on Marietta. They are under third-year head coach Andy Waddle. He was one of 5 new head coaches to take over programs beginning in the 2013 football season, and he struggled a little bit. Waddle is a good coach, and I think Marietta is happy to have him, but so far not a lot of success. Just 4-20 in his third year at Marietta, and one of those wins came last weekend when they beat Wilmington at Wilmington to spoil their homecoming efforts 34-14. I think there's still a lot of questions on this Marietta team.
Oh, yeah, definitely a lot of questions here. And they still have a young team here, a lot to look forward to. As you mentioned, their first win last week, something we spoke of when we were talking about BW is momentum. Marietta does have that first win under their belt, and they will be looking here to maybe grab a second win and shock a BW team that's looking to make their record more on the winning side than losing side. They're led by their running back, Bush, 5 touchdowns on the year, definitely something that can be a weapon for them. 4.5 yards a carry, 238 total yards. Not a yardage total that pops up at you, but the 5 touchdowns definitely shows you that he's a back that they do use in the red zone, and he will be accounting for a lot of the scoring for the Pioneers today.
Running back Roger Bush had a nice week last week with 3 of those 5 rushing touchdowns, all in the first half against Wilmington. He and Nick O'Neal, another running back, are the 2 leading rushers on the team, and they have totaled almost 600 yards of offense between the 2 of them on the ground. A couple of other players have added in as well, but those are definitely their 2 most important running backs, Nick O'Neal and Roger Bush. You'll see both of them today. On the quarterback side, you've got a senior in Lucas Havens who's trying to lead the offense. He has been a little bit interception prone. If you look at his numbers on the year, kind of average play, but a senior that doesn't turn the ball over too many times. He's averaging 1 interception per game. Obviously, you'd like for that to come down, but when you have a senior under center, that certainly helps you set the right tone when you're trying to rebuild a program.
Yeah, definitely. Interceptions is something that can be worked on with the chemistry and gelling more with your team. As you mentioned, he is a senior, but does have 2 sophomore wide receivers. Haven, 4 picks on the year, 50.5 completion percentage. So not awful on the completion side, but as you mentioned, would like to turn down the turnovers a little bit there.
Pretty balanced offense between rushing and passing. This Marietta team, again, just kind of trying to figure some things out on the offensive side and giving lots of different guys opportunities to get in there. Their leading receiver on the year, Clay Moorfield, 17 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown. Roger Bush also catches a number of passes out of the backfield, 10 grabs for 146 yards on the season. So that's a decent look there at the Marietta offense. We will shortly here have the coin toss and figure out who's going to have the ball first. The captains are making their way out of the locker room for Marietta down off to our right. And on the near side, it's the Baldwin Wallace captains who will be joined by a couple of honorary captains today here because it is homecoming week. Yellow Jackets will be in those brown tops with gold pants and gold helmets. Marietta in the road uniforms, they'll have white and navy with a really nice new helmet this year. It's a silver helmet with a kind of a sharpened image of the Pioneers logo on the helmet. They kind of rebranded that in the offseason. It looks awfully nice. This is a series that has been really dominated by Baldwin Wallace in totality. BW 32-5 overall in the series, and the Yellow Jackets have won 8 straight contests. But boy, last year, Jason, that was a game that went right down the wire, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely a nail-biter, ending with a pick 6 by class of 2015 graduate Luke Riemann-Snyder, the defensive end. Definitely a crazy game to be at. I was here at that game. As you mentioned, very intense environment. So Marietta coming into this game not feeling as too much of an underdog based off what happened in last year's game.
No doubt they will be hungry as they come in here today, trying to find a way to get some revenge. Obviously, this is one of the games on their schedule, given the way they played last year, that they feel like they've got a good chance to win. And certainly it's a difficult thing when you're trying to rebuild a program. But obviously they like their chances coming in here today, and I would imagine if Marietta wins the toss that they would probably try to take the football first. We do have the coin toss going on here at midfield as we speak. All right, there's the flip. Looks like Baldwin Wallace has won the toss. Waiting for the official signal here. Okay, Baldwin Wallace has chosen to defer to the second half, so Marietta's offense will come out onto the field first, and since they'll be out there first, let's give you a look at their probable starting lineup. First on the offensive line, we'll go from left to right. Left tackle is Trevor Rick. A.J. Epley is the left guard. Anthony Jalois at center. Caleb Riggleman is the right guard, and the right tackle, Mitch Bellotta. We mentioned Lucas Havens is under center. Roger Bush, Nick O'Neill, and Jared Deep will be his three mainstays at running back. Tight end Nick Heineman will definitely see some action. Clay Moorfield and Darrell Clem are their two mostly used wide receivers. Baldwin Wallace on defense. They'll attack with 4 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers. Across the line, Damon Bolin, Lawrence Wolf, Ian Harmon, and Andy Schultz. Linebackers Sean Nischwitz, Tyler Burdorf, and Sam Groff. And the defensive backs today for Baldwin Wallace, Nate Furster and Howard Dover are the corners. Teddy Washington and Brock Hall are the safeties. Marietta 1-3 on the season and 1-2 in conference play, looking to get to 500 in the OAC. That would be really nice for them. They have not been able to string together back-to-back wins since Andy Waddle took over this program. You better believe that's their biggest driving factor here today.
Oh, yeah, definitely focused. Coming in at 8th in the conference, playing a team that's tied for 4th. Not too much a difference in between these teams, as you mentioned. Marietta 1-2, BW 2-1. So Andy Waddle definitely look to pick up a win here and improve to 500 in the OAC conference.
This is the final game of the conference today to get underway. The other 4 contests all kicked off at 1:30 Eastern Time. Wilmington is at John Carroll. Otterbein is visiting Capital. Mount Union hosting Ohio Northern, and Muskingum playing host to Heidelberg here today. We'll certainly keep you updated on those games as the afternoon goes along. So the Yellow Jackets like the idea of taking the football first in the second half, so they will kick away here in half number 1. Ben Hawkins is the most dangerous of the kick returners for Marietta, and he is on the near side to the right as the Pioneers go back deep for the kick. Back there along with him is Masai McDaniel, who is the reigning OAC Defensive Player of the Week. Kickoff goes the way of McDaniel, and as he backpedals, catches it over his head, makes his way toward the middle of the field, and the Yellow Jackets wrap him up quickly. They're going to put his forward progress all the way to the 14-yard line, but he was smothered back further than that, and the Pioneers will take over fairly deep in their territory, 1st and 10.
That was a great job there by outside linebacker V. Sealy of staying in his lane there on kickoff, something that you often see players coming down, leaving their lane, and the returner cutting back for more yards. That time, the returner tried to cut back, but V. Sealy was right there to open up this game with a great tackle for the Yellow Jackets.
So the drive will start on their own 14-yard line. Havens goes immediately into the shotgun, even though this is a team that runs the ball a lot, as the first ball is batted at the line of scrimmage and knocked down. Even though they run the football a lot, Jason, they do like to spread out the offensive group.
Yeah, as we can see that there early going to the shotgun, and even if you look at their statistics, Moorfield 118 yards, Bush 146, so you can see that he goes out wide and even dumps off to his running back, and then Heineman, the tight end, with 98 receiving yards on the year. So everybody gets some love in this offense.
Jared Deep and you just mentioned Heineman. Both of them were in motion there. A fake handoff and a rollout. Havens chucks it deep. He's got an open man, and it's Clem in motion with a deep reception, and the Yellow Jackets give up a big play.
And if it wasn't for safety, Theodore Washington may have even been a touchdown, as their receiver, Clem, beat the corner, and that Havens just kind of dropped that right into that cover 2 hole. Perfect ball there. Marietta takes the ball here on the 39-yard line.
It's a 47-yard pass and catch from Havens to Darnell Clem. Big play here at the outset of this game for the Pioneers. It's now 1st and 10 from the BW 39, their first running play of the day. I would say that's probably best called no gain after the ball was carried forward just back to the line of scrimmage by Roger Bush.
And Harmon, the defensive tackle there, first person to the ball carrier.
So the Pioneers regroup. They'll send Clem out wide to the right. He's the only wide receiver. Check that. Clem goes wide to the left. Clay Moorfield, the receiver, out wide to the right. A couple of backs in there with Lucas Havens. 2nd down and 10 from the 39. BW with good pressure. A big hit quickly. And Nick O'Neal can't get more than just a couple of yards as he tried to cut back to the right. Good pressure there on the left side of the defense from the Yellow Jackets. I think you can credit Sean Nischwitz, the outside linebacker, with the stop. 3rd down and 8. Bringing a whole new package out there for the Pioneers. Leading receiver Moorfield is in the slot on the right, tight to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 8 from the 37 as Havens tries to bark out the signals with 7 to get it off. Press coverage on the outside and an incomplete pass intended for Darnell Clem. And fairly well defended there on the outside by Howard Dover.
Not quite sure what Havens was seeing there on the quick slant. Kind of one of those routes you want to throw as the cornerback has a nice cushion there for the quick yardage. But that time, Howard Dover with the press coverage, and Havens still tries to go to his receiver on that quick slant, but defended perfectly, bringing up a 4th and 10 for the Pioneers.
So BW will get the football back as they reset the play clock. It was a missed spot with the ball. The yardage stick on the far side of the field was actually at 4th and 10. It's actually 4th and 8. They did not move forward a couple of plays ago. Coach Snell getting an explanation from the near side official. So now they've got it spotted correctly. Zach Camper is in to punt away for the Pioneers. He'll punt from just barely on his side of the field. Austin Smith back deep. And the Yellow Jackets are going to let this one die just into the end zone. Boy, a fortunate break. It'll be 1st and 10 for Baldwin Wallace from the 20.
Not quite sure how freshman wide receiver Heaven Price for Marietta did not down that ball. A great punt there by the punter. Gets a Marietta bounce right at about the 5. Could have been touchdown at the 1, but unfortunate for the Pioneers. The ball lands in the end zone for a touchback. Your Yellow Jackets will start their drive here at the 20-yard line. Meglin leads the Yellow Jackets out at quarterback. Receivers are Wolf, Wagner, and Cook.
Obviously, Cook coming off the biggest week of his young career last week. Yard game, 9 catches, couple of scores. Meglin using Ike Reed as his sidecar on 1st and 10. Reed gets the handoff, goes right up the gut, breaks a couple of tackles, and he'll pick up 7 yards. Nicely done. 2nd down and 3.
Nice job of Reed there, not giving up on the run. Yards after contact is something that's big with Reed after that first hit. Keeps his feet moving and does a great job there of making this a 2nd and 3 for the Yellow Jackets.
By the way, it was a 5-play, 49-yard drive for Marietta that got 1 first down on the big play, but finished off with the punt. 12 minutes left, opening quarter, no score. This is Baldwin Wallace's first drive of the afternoon here on Homecoming. Meglin from the gun. Good protection as he's got time to throw. Now he's up in the pocket. He likes to run. He will. First down as he jarts out of bounds. Just past the stick. Should be about a 3.5-yard pickup. And the chains will move.
Definitely where Tyler Meglin is most effective there on his feet. Even if you get that pressure into the backfield, he's so great with his feet to be able to get out into the pocket and gain that first down. Tyler Meglin, the leading rusher for the Yellow Jackets on the year. 482 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's done a nice job this season. Most of those plays have been scrambles, not necessarily designed runs, but he definitely has the ability to make something happen when the play breaks apart. 1st and 10 from the 31. This time he rolls out to his right. Good protection, but he throws low and incomplete. Looking for Trevor George here on the near sideline. George has caught the ball 6 times for 56 yards on the season and got an intended pass there, but an incompletion. 11:11 left in the first quarter, no score. Yellow Jackets signaling the play in from the near sideline. It's a chance for BW today to get over the 500 mark on the season. I'll tell you what, after losing at Bluffton week 1, I think a lot of people would look at this program and say they won 3 out of their next 4, and the one loss was a 3-point loss. Boy, we'll take that. Meglin up the middle, this time a design keep, and he is swallowed up defensively. Let's take a look at that Marietta defense. First across the front 4, Thomas Hinkle, Dalton Seacrest, Aaron Johnson, Joe Ortega on the defensive line. Linebackers are Jeremy Pratt, Daryl DeWint, Antonio McElvin. Defensive backs, Masai McDaniel, Corey Huntsberger, Chase Randolph, and Christian Mayola. Again, we mentioned McDaniel is the reigning OAC Defensive Player of the Week. Only had a couple tackles last week, but forced 2 turnovers and was crucial in Marietta's road victory at Wilmington. 3rd down and 7 for the Jackets. 5th play of the drive, 10:25 left, opening quarter. Meglin airs it out near side, incomplete. Nice coverage here on the near corner from Christian Mayola as the pass was intended on the near side for Brian Cook.
That was actually great coverage there by Christian Mayola as Tyler Meglin looked to hit his receiver Brian Cook on the far side hitch. Christian Mayola did a great job of staying attached with the receiver, getting his arm out there and poking that ball away, forcing the punt here for the Yellow Jackets on 4th and 7.
So Marietta will get the ball back. That's Ben Hawkins back deep to return the punt, standing at his own 25. Austin Smith with a high, fairly short, wobbly kick. That takes a very friendly Pioneer bounce. So the Pioneers get it back, and let's see where they spot it. It looks like it's going to end up being a net punt of only 23 yards for Austin Smith. The ball goes on the 43-yard line for the Pioneers, so they've got great field position here.
Yeah, definitely the same type of field position they had after that first drive and that deep pass. So we'll see what the Pioneers here do with this.
First play of the drive, Havens has a running back behind him. That's Nick O'Neill. Nick takes the football up the middle, and he gets to about the 48, 5-yard pickup. 2nd down and 5 for Marietta.
Definitely here looking to see a little bit of a double back formation. Well, here it is now, pushing O'Neill in the backfield together, something that I was just getting ready to speak on, and you see that here right now.
2 tight ends set as well with both Heineman and Jared Deep. A fake handoff, and they dump it near side. Caught. Roger Bush swallowed up after a 3-yard pickup. Good defense. They'll bring up 3rd down and 2 just on the Baldwin Wallace side of the field.
Yeah, that was Sam Groff, number 25, the junior linebacker there, the first one to meet Bush. And a great job. They tried to get him out there on that dump play out of the fullback position, and Sam Groff wasn't having it, making it 3rd and 2 here for the Yellow Jackets, for the Pioneers.
9:05 left opening quarter. 3rd drive of the game, no score. On a beautiful sunny fall afternoon, 61 degrees, partly cloudy skies in Berea. Here for homecoming. Havens from the gun. A handoff and a 1st down. Nicely done. Tiptoeing the sideline, Nick O'Neill scampers all the way, looks like across the 40. No, I guess he stepped out at the 44 just before that. But still enough to move the sticks.
Nick O'Neill, Brennan, a big guy, 6 foot 230 at the running back position. Definitely a force to be reckoned with out of the backfield.
He is their primary back. More carries and more yards than Bush, but both see a substantial amount of action. It is O'Neill with a chop block in the backfield there and an incomplete pass. That one was intended for Nick Heineman over the middle of the field.
I think on that one, Howard Dover thought he had saw the pot of gold there on the corner blitz. Definitely got the remnants of a chop block by number 34, Nick O'Neal, out of the backfield.
Yeah, he took him out pretty good. Malik Davis, the wide receiver, near side, left side. Just tucked inside him, Clay Moorfield, and Darrell Clem is far wide to the right. 2nd and 10 for Marietta with 8:26 left, opening quarter. A handoff up the middle. O'Neal with a lot of room to go. Rumbles all the way down to the 25. Boy, you mentioned he's a big back, but he certainly showed some explosiveness there on that 19-yard carry right up the middle.
Yeah, definitely got moving right through the hole there on that play as Marietta hurries to the line.
O'Neal one more time gets the call and does not gain anything on that play. Right back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
92 in Harmon again there, first person to the ball.
Well, Davis looked like he was going to check out. Instead, the only one to run off the field is Nick O'Neal. So it is a 3-receiver look. Jared Deep and Roger Bush, the backs with Lucas Havens. Feeling pressure. Throws far side, a screen pass caught. Boy, what defense there from the Jackets. Can't draw it up any better than that. Nicely done by Nate Furster. Making the stop. 3rd down and 10.
26, Trip Washington there too on the tackle. Definitely sniffed out that bubble play as Havens looked to go to his receiver Moorfield in the slot. Loss of yardage on the play, bringing up 3rd and 10.
Pioneers weren't afraid to go deep early in the game. I'm not sure this situation would call for a deep pass, but boy, it shows their willingness to open up the playbook. Lots of time, still 8 seconds to get it off. Havens with time, airs it out left side, and it is bobbled and dropped. Incomplete pass. Good coverage on the play coming from defensive tackle Lawrence Wolf. Check that. That's not Wolf. That's strong safety Brock Hall.
Yeah, looking to get to his running back out of the backfield. 2nd leading receiver with 146 yards on the year. Ball actually hit him in his hand and was a perfectly placed ball, but great job there by strong safety Brock Hall, posing a distraction there and not allowing Bush to catch that ball.
This field goal attempt from 42 yards away. Kick is on its way, but it's wide left. No good. Just a little bit wide on the kick from Andrew Matkovich. Matkovich on the year. Actually, I believe that was his first field goal try. It was. Jimmy Ambresia was 0 for 1 on the season kicking field goals, and that was the only one of the season that they had attempted. So a missed field goal stalls the drive, and the Jackets take over at the 25. Defense holds.
I actually had the distance there on that kick. I thought it was going in from up here in the box, but wide left for the Pioneers, setting up Baldwin Wallace on their own 25-yard line.
So the Jackets take over with 6:46 left in the opening quarter. Meglin from the shotgun. That should be a flag, and I think Andy Waddle is pretty upset. Isaac Reed was definitely moving forward while the football was snapped. And the Pioneers get a tough break there. It brings up 2nd down and 1 after the 9-yard carry.
Hurry back to the line. Meglin handoff to Smith to pick up the 1st down. There's some of this hurry-up pace that we see often from the Yellow Jackets, getting the ball back to the line and not giving the Pioneer defense a chance to reset. Bringing up 1st and 10 here for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, they've got it all the way up to the 39-yard line here. 14 yards in 2 plays.
Very quick with the Yellow Jackets and their tempo here.
No score, middle of the first quarter. 6 minutes left here on our opening frame. We'll give you a look around the conference scoreboard when we get a moment. There's definitely some action across the OAC today. Some high-scoring games already. Meglin dumps far left side. Austin Smith. Boy, it almost looked like he juked himself out of his own shoes. Good pickup, though. Muskingum at home, they're having a tough year, 0-4, and even though they scored first against Heidelberg, they are now down 28-7. That game is barely into the second quarter. We'll see if we have a more updated score between Mount Union and Ohio Northern. That one has been frozen there for a minute. There we go. Purple Raiders 21, Ohio Northern zip. 8 minutes left, second quarter. John Carroll leading Wilmington 21-7, and Otterbein on the road is beating Capital 21-7. Second down, 2 to go, shy of midfield. Screen pass near side, caught by Smith. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage and tackled. Christian Mayola, who made that nice deflection here on the near side that forced the BW punt last time, comes up with the tackle for loss.
Great job there by Mayola doing it. What a lot of corners have a problem doing it is that's making open field tackles on these running backs out of the backfield. Great job there of getting low on Austin Smith and preventing him from gaining any additional yards after that catch.
So it's a 3-yard loss and sets up 3rd down and 5 from their own 44. Meglin wants to throw. He gets it off to Smith again, and Austin spins to the ground after sort of being hit, but honestly kind of spun himself away from Jeremy Pratt, the linebacker, who didn't hit him very hard.
And that pressure came straight down the middle there from senior linebacker Daryl DeWint. Coming straight down the pipe there from Tyler Meglin, bringing pressure, forcing him to throw that check down there to Austin Smith, and as you mentioned, kind of spun himself to the ground there, bringing up this 4th and 5 punting situation for the Yellow Jackets. It's Smith with a punt. Not a bad one. Hits it about the 25 and takes a Yellow Jacket bounce. We'll see where they're spotted at. It looks like about the 11-yard line.
Yeah, 11 or 12, got it down there pretty far. Nicely done.
Nice roll there on that punt. As the punt favored Smith, and they are going to mark that at the 12-yard line, bringing up 1st and 10 on the 12 for these Pioneers.
So a 5-play drive after that punt. Marietta takes over on offense for the 3rd time here in the ball game. It's a handoff right up the middle and a good tackle because Roger Bush had nothing but 80 yards of turf in front of him. Instead, he is stopped just shy of the 1st down marker after picking up 7 or 8.
That was the sophomore defensive tackle, Sharkeem Bonaparte. They're dangling on the Bush's legs as he was looking into daylight.
3:13 and counting here in quarter number 1. Darrell Clem switches from the left to the right side of the offensive formation. 4-receiver look. Pressure coming from the Yellow Jackets on the end around, and a couple of flags thrown in. It'll be our first penalty of the game. Ball was taken there by Hunter Rocknich, but looks like a holding call coming.
Yeah, definitely holding there on the outside. Anytime you get your hands outside of that pad line, the receivers are throwing that yellow flag.
Waiting for the official signal here. Baldwin Wallace is going to say, okay, back him up. It officially is a hold. I mentioned earlier that Mount Union was shutting out Ohio Northern 21-0. It's their 5th game of the year, Jason. And last week was the first time all season that they've given up points of any kind. I mean, we've seen some pretty ridiculous Mount Union teams over the years, but how do you how do you rank this year's team thinking that, I mean, no scoring at all, not on their 3rd or 4th team defense, not on a fluky offensive play, nothing. Haven't given up a point until 1 touchdown last week.
That's unheard of, and it's crazy to think about. As you mentioned, these aren't close games that they're playing, and this is 2nd and 3rd string defense in there, holding their water and not giving up any touchdowns. Just a great team out there in Alliance, Ohio, the Raiders have.
2nd down and 13 here in Berea with 2:40 left, opening quarter. Marietta back on their own 9-yard line. Havens is going to keep it. He's got a little room to move all the way out of bounds where he is shoved out. think he's put out right at the 20, so he picks up 11 yards and still needs 2 more to move the chains.
Not
Third
a bad
down and
run.
2.
Not a bad run. More than I would expect there from quarterback, as you don't usually see him get out of the pocket. And that looked more like a designed quarterback run. Picks up the yardage, bringing up 3rd and 2 for his Pioneers offense.
So 3rd and 2 from the 20. Bush up the middle. He's close to the sticks. We'll have to see where they stop his forward progress. I think he's got it, at least from where the far side official was running on, and they will move the chains on a nice 3rd down carry that picked up just enough. Well, 3rd down has definitely been a problem for the Pioneers on the season. They are only converting at a 30% rate on 3rd down. Not terrible, but boy, if you're going to try to start stringing some wins together, you got to be a more productive team on 3rd down. The other side of the coin, Baldwin Wallace has been almost otherworldly on 3rd down, as this one is batted and incomplete. Nicely done there on the deflection from Andy Schultz. BW on the year in the first 4 games of the season, converting 56% of the time on 3rd down. That's a tough offense to get off the field.
Definitely when you're talking about 3rd down, these are usually 3rd and longs, 3rd and mid-range. Great job by BW, as we've been watching them here all year draw up the perfect plays to convert these first downs on the 3rd down plays.
So far we've seen 3 punts and a missed field goal. This is the 5th drive of the game. Both teams looking for some points at the tail end of the first quarter. Handoff right side goes to Nick O'Neill, and he's down after picking up 5 or 6 yards, just shy of the 30.
That was senior captain, number 48 linebacker Tyler Burdoff, flying out there to make the tackle.
A couple of substitutions here defensively. Jalen Brown, a defensive end, is going to come into the ball game. He's the most notable one because he hasn't seen too much time in this one yet. Lawrence Wolf back out there as well up front, as looks like Brown is going to go into a 2-point stance on the far side of the line. 3rd and a long 4. Havens barking out to his receivers. Still 10 seconds to get a playoff. Throws near side. It's a low throw. I think he came up with a catch. Nicely done on the pass out to Alex Smith. Smith picks up 4 on a 3rd and 3 effort. So the Pioneers move the sticks. So far, 18 plays for 106 yards for Marietta. Just 10 plays for 33 yards for the Jackets. Marietta's definitely had more time of possession here in the opening quarter. Just 39 seconds left in the opening frame as Havens goes under center, sends Bush out to the right. He fumbled the football. We'll see who came up with it. Burdoff, of course, pointing the Yellow Jacket way.
I think Baldwin Wallace came up with that one.
Nope, they'll call it 2nd down.
2nd down.
That has definitely been a huge bugaboo for this Marietta team this year. They have fumbled 13 times, that the 14th, and have lost half of them. Baldwin Wallace has taken far better care of the football.
Horrible way to turn the ball over with this. Something that happens every play. The center quarterback exchange, it's got to happen for the play to run. Just something that's got to be frustrating as a coach. And definitely setting up this 2nd and 10 as we switch sides and go here into the 2nd frame.
First quarter comes to a close with no score and a back-and-forth affair. These two teams have each pushed the ball a little bit into each other's territory. Marietta had the first real good scoring opportunity, but so far, neither team has been able to convert. Marietta 5 first downs, BW 2 in the first quarter. The Pioneers have converted 3 of 5 on 3rd downs, which is important because we just mentioned they've been so poor on 3rd down. The Jackets 0 for 2 in 3rd down tries. So far, individually, not a whole lot to look at from a stats perspective from BW. Tyler Meglin has completed 3 of 5 passes for 5 yards. Austin Smith, 2 carries for 14 yards. And all 3 completions for Meglin have gone to Austin Smith. Lucas Havens, 4 of 9 for 56 yards. And, of course, that included the 47-yard pass to Darnell Clem. Other than that, we really haven't seen many big plays.
Not a lot of offense here at all today here, Brennan, as we've been seeing more special teams here than anything with the field goal and punt units out on the field.
So the Pioneers take over as we start quarter number 2. Second down and 10 from the 34. Havens with 3 targets out to his right, 1 to his left. Running back in the backfield here to start the second quarter, Roger Bush, and he'll take it up the gun all the way across the 45-yard line. A pickup of 11 yards and a first down for the Pioneers.
What a huge hole made there by that Pioneer offensive line there for their big back Roger Bush to barrel through for the first down. Brought down at the end of that 10-yard gain by Andy Schultz, the defensive end.
Havens surveys the defense, which is in a 4-2-5 look with 4 receivers out there. 14:35 left, second quarter. No score. Another one up the middle. And I think the Yellow Jackets had that one sniffed out pretty quickly. I'm surprised. I think they're going to give him a yard of gain. It looked like he got hit immediately at the line of scrimmage, but it'll be second down and 9.
Yeah, I thought he lost a yard there on the play, but something we're seeing here early. Marietta definitely staying committed to that run game with those 2 backs, Bush.
Bush and O'Neal, and now it's Nick O'Neal in the pistol behind him. Jared Deep, the motion man here to the left side. They'll run that direction. Nice cut back and hurdle, and O'Neal across the sticks. The Pioneers running the football up the field and doing so fairly effectively. 13:50 left in the opening half.
Not a lot of sweeps here for the Pioneers. Definitely a lot of between the tackles running with these 2 bigger backs. And they've been successful, so no reason to stop here on 1st and 10. Ball on the Yellow Jackets 43.
Bad snap. Havens somehow corrals it and just races for the sideline. He's going to lose a yard on the play, but boy, I'll tell you what, that could have been disastrous. The ball was snapped way to his left as the center, Anthony Jeloise, is walking back toward the huddle, slapping his helmet.
Definitely great play there, as you mentioned, by Havens, saving a bigger loss than what they took. Only a loss of 1, but as you mentioned, snapped far left. Ended up having to grab that with one hand and just sprint to the sideline.
11th play of the drive that started at their own 12-yard line. Second down and 11. Havens fakes the handoff. He's got a couple targets, throws back across the field, a dangerous throw. And they go back maybe to the line of scrimmage. He had a couple of open targets near side. I don't know. I think Havens was committed to making that throw before he actually read the defense. 3rd and 11.
Definitely looked like one of those plays where he looked at the receiver and said, okay, I'm going to throw to this guy no matter what happened. Rolled to the right, screen to the left. Defense sniffed it out. Almost a pick 6 there by linebacker Sam Groff. Lucky that ball wasn't picked off on this 3rd and 11 play right here.
Heaven Price checks out of the game for Marietta. 3rd and 11, Havens from the gun. O'Neal back there with him, providing some protection. Across his body, throws it complete. He is awfully close to the first down marker. Good awareness there from Darnell Clem. And it's enough, I think, to move the chains. Waiting for the official signal, and there it is. First down, an 11-yard completion. That's a great play by Clem to know where he's got to get to with the chains on the other side of the field. That's a veteran move.
And that's Alex Smith there on that reception. Right at 10 yards, catches the ball, turns around and does a great job of, as you mentioned, to get that yard after the catch and complete that first down for the Pioneers.
1st and 10 from the 33. Everybody moving up front. And they're going to call it an encroachment foul defensively. Well, this drive definitely taking some time. Marietta got the football on their own 12-yard line with 3:39 left in the opening quarter. We're now just under the 12-minute mark with the clock continuing to roll here in the second quarter, and they're moving nicely up the field. The Pioneers looking to score first. No score. First down and 5 from the 28. O'Neal tries the right side. Spins out of a couple tackles. Boy, I'll tell you what, the Pioneers today have a ton of yards after contact.
Yeah, definitely with these 2 bigger backs. As I mentioned, O'Neal at 6 foot, 230, and then you go to Roger Bush, 5'10", 198, so about 200 pounds. And again, as I mentioned, all these runs are right between the tackles, so they're getting hit every play, continue after that, contact, and pushing forward for more yardage.
We're at the 11-minute mark here in the second quarter, 2nd down and 1 after O'Neal picked up 4. He is the lone back here. Fake handoff. Havens looking deep. He's got Clem open, but missed him badly.
Great play design there on the flash fake. Had his receiver Darnell Clem, the sophomore, out of Pittsburgh on the wheel route. I think Havens waited a little bit too long to throw that. He could have caught that ball out a little earlier as Nate Fairster was pressing on the play, on the coverage. Forced him to throw that ball out of bounds, bringing up this 3rd and 1 here.
Yeah, this is a crucial play for the Pioneers. They've had a nice long drive, but if it stalls here, you might see them consider a 4th down try. We'll see. They've already missed a field goal today. On 3rd and 1 from the 24. O'Neal takes the handoff, and he is met immediately. Nicely done by Sam Groff, who's having a great ball game, and he brings up 4th and short.
And that's a great play there by Sam Groff, leading the teams in tackles here today, coming in with 36, meeting the back there right at the line, and it looks like Marietta's rushing back to go for it on 4th down here.
Well, I think we're going to have a timeout. That one may have been whistled by the Jackets. We'll see. Just in case you are wondering how long this drive has taken, as BW officially is awarded the timeout, this is the 16th play of the drive. I mean, the Pioneers have just run the ball all the way up the field. A couple of throws, including the big one there on 3rd and 11 to Clem. But, boy, when they just ticked off clock and moved the ball efficiently up the field, this is a big play here with 10:28 left in a scoreless first half. They've got to find a way to convert this 4th down, or else they're going to go back to the sideline feeling like, man, what else do we got to do?
Oh, yeah, 16 plays into a drive. You're here on this 4th and 1. It's definitely something that's got to get converted. As you mentioned, just powering the ball here down the field. Not a lot of deep pass plays, not a lot of sweep plays. It's a lot of just short route patterns and straight between the tackle, power running here for the Pioneers.
Well, 17 carries and 12 pass attempts, so still fairly well balanced for Marietta, but a lot more running on this drive. 4th and 1 as the Jackets crowd the line of scrimmage defensively. Big play here late in the first half. O'Neal has the 1st down. I certainly would think his forward progress had him up right near that 1st down marker at the 23, even though he was definitely driven backwards afterward. We'll wait the official signal, but I think he probably got it. Well, they're going to stop the clock and measure it.
The Yellow Jackets are saying that it's turnover on downs.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if I like that spot if I'm Marietta. If I'm BW, I'm a pretty happy camper because that does not appear to be a very favorable spot for the Pioneers, although it's going to be close. They've definitely put the ball down between the 23 and 24. It's just a matter of how many links in the chain do they need to get, and we will see. Turnover on downs. The Jacket defense holds. How about that?
Yeah, what a great stop there by that defensive line. As I mentioned, big back in the backfield, first to contact, number 92, Ian Harmon, whose name I have said a lot here throughout this first half. That's just a great job there by that Jacket front, not getting pushed back and getting the ball back here for their offense with 10:22 left to go in this half.
That's a 16-play, 64-yard drive that ends in a 4th down turnover on downs. So BW gets it back with 10:22 left in the first half. Boy, that's the biggest defensive stand they've had all year. Handoff goes up the middle to Isaac Reed, and he's hit quickly and then finished off. That looked like Thomas Hinkle will get credit with the tackle.
What a change in momentum here for the Pioneers, looking at that drive that they just have and then turning the ball over on downs and putting their defense here back on the field.
2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard pickup. Maybe it'll be a long 9. We'll see. It looks like it's just touching the 25-yard line. Tyler Meglin trying to orchestrate something here to hang his hat on. Isaac Reed saw an opening that quickly closed up. Another good stop, I should say, from Thomas Hinkle. Couple yards on the run, puts the ball at the 27, 28-yard line. They need the 34 to move the chain, so third down and medium length. Yellow Jackets need somebody to step up and make a play. That's sort of been one of their problems offensively this year. They've had good balance, but they really haven't had a guy they could always count on when they need a big third down conversion. And as we mentioned in this game, with a lack of time of possession, this is only their third down of the game. 0 for 2 on the first two. Meglin's scrambling around, and he's not going to pick up the first down there as he gets up to about the 33. So the Jackets, even though they come up with that big defensive stop, they'll need that same group to come back out onto the field here as they'll punt after going 3 and out.
And, that's so very taxing on your defense, being out there on a drive. 16 plays, as you mentioned, started with 3 minutes to go in the previous quarter, coming back to the bench. And, 3 plays into the drive, you're back out onto the field. It's got to be tough on this Jackets defense, but great stop on that last drive. We'll look to see more of that great defense here after this punt.
This will be the third punt in 3 drives for the Jackets here in the first half. Austin Smith back to boot it away. It's a good high kick, definitely a better one. Hawkins fumbles the football as he comes up, and he'll recover it after a fortuitous bounce right around the 44-yard line. Ben Hawkins trying to catch that ball while on the run and avoid the defender breathing down his neck. It was good pressure. But the punt will put it at the 44.
I'm not quite sure that he saw Kyle Uleman coming from his right side on that return. He kind of looked around, looked as if he thought the area was clear, went to catch the ball, and end up muffing that punt, placing the ball at the 44 here for the Pioneers. 8:09 left to go in the half, and our score is locked here 0-0.
Baldwin Wallace just 13 plays for 41 yards of offense here in the first half. But no score. The defense has done their job as Havens throws far side. Caught up top, but a nice job wrestling him down. We mentioned his name earlier, the safety. Trip Washington does a good job swallowing him up immediately for no gain.
Gosh, Washington just breaks so hard on that ball immediately. Havens pulls from the running back and shows that he's throwing that bubble. Washington powers down to the line and stops that play for a gain of 0. That's a great play there by their sophomore free safety.
4-receiver look on 2nd and 10. Running back is Nick O'Neal. Havens, a 3-step drop. I don't know if he overshot or undershot his intended target. There were 2 guys over there, but truthfully, neither one of them were particularly close to the ball.
Yeah, either way, not a very good decision there. Under or overthrown. 2-player within 5 yards of the ball. Maybe a broken play. I don't know. Either way, 3rd and 10 here. Ball on the 44 for the Pioneers.
Well, Clem and Moorfield wide to the left. A couple receivers to the right as well. Malik Davis is the one closest to the sideline. He's out there with Heaven Price. A quick throw over the middle, and a nice job by the defense to sniff that one out. Havens wanted to just dump a screen off and hope that he could roll, but A.J. Epley, the offensive guard, I think lost his footing and couldn't maintain his block. It was an easy tackle for the BW defense. And now the Pioneers go 3 and out.
Again, there on the screenplay, something we saw last time. Had a couple of guys open downfield. Not quite sure what he was seeing there on the field on that screenplay, but definitely a great job there by that Yellow Jackets defense to swarm on that and bring up this 4th down.
So the Pioneers punt the football away. Zach Camper with a nice kick. It's hanging high in the air, and Austin Smith takes the fair catch at the 15. 6:40 left in our opening half. Things not really going the way the Jackets have wanted to, but the scoreboard still with a couple of zeros. Today's Yellow Jacket football game brought to you by Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Also by Domino's Pizza. Call us in Berea at 440-891-0030 or go online to domino's.com. And finally by the Oriole Cafe, a great place for sports. They're located at 294 North Rocky River Drive, just 2 minutes here from campus. 1st and 10 from the 15 with 6:40 left in the second quarter. Meglin looking, lobs it up deep, and he overshoots him. Jason, you didn't like that play.
I was looking at Wagner early in the play. He seemed to be open as the play developed, but once he started getting into his route, definitely looked to be covered there by number 23, Chase Randolph, the sophomore defensive back out of Oakwood High School in Dayton, Ohio.
So Meglin took a little bit of a shot when he thought he might have had a guy open, but didn't quite work out that time. Incomplete, no harm, no foul. Brings up 2nd down and 10 from the 15. BW needs to just get a couple plays under their belt here to get something to feel good about as Tyler zings one over after the pump fake. Nicely completed over to the far side of the field as Masai McDaniel really bit on that fake. Catch made out there on the far side by, I believe, Tyler Wolf, and it moves the sticks.
That was Tyler Wolf out there on the catch. Great job there on that play fake, holding that cornerback, and Meglin does a great job of zipping that in there right where the ball needs to be in that hole, converting on this 1st down.
So the ball moves from the 15 all the way out to the 34, a 19-yard pass and catch. It's the first time we've seen him pump fake all day. 1st and 10 from their own 34 with just under 6 minutes left in the first half. This time it's Wolf who took the handoff, and he tried to cut back in maybe a little quicker than he wanted to, but he still picked up 9 yards. 2nd down and 1.
And you spoke of a player, Brennan, that needs to step up. In my eyes, that's definitely Tyler Wolf, one of the most explosive players for that offense. Great athlete. You see him getting mixed up, getting handoff, getting passes thrown to him. I feel like that's definitely a player that can get the ball and make a change here for this Yellow Jackets offense.
Brian Cook goes wide to the right as Tyler Wolf and Trevor George go wide left. On 2nd and 1. This is Smith in the backfield, the motion man, Wolf, or check that, George. The handoff goes straight up the middle. Actually, that was Adam Blake on the carry, not Austin Smith. And a 1st down.
Great job. Straightforward north and south run there by Adam Blake. That's what that's got to be. That's what he brings to this team. You see 3 backs, Blake, Reed, and Smith, all 3 bringing different aspects to that backfield.
This has been a pretty good football game so far. Both teams matching each other blow for blow, but nobody has put points on the board yet. Just shy of midfield, Meglin. He lobs it over far side. George with room to run. Near the 30, and in fact, I think he was able to stay in bounds all the way up to the 25. A 27-yard completion. In fact, it looks like they'll put him down to the 24, so call it a 28-yard completion. Biggest play of the day there for the Jackets.
Nice play design there by the Yellow Jackets offensive coordinators there. Go to that run fake and then the bubble option there right to Trevor George, and he had nothing but green in front of them, giving the ball to the Yellow Jackets on the 24.
Clock counting inside 4:20 left, 2nd quarter. Looking for the first score of the game. Meglin hands the ball off. No, he doesn't. He fakes it to Blake, throws toward the end zone. Caught, but he was out of bounds. Tyler Wolf made a heck of an effort to go up top over, I believe that was Christian Mayola, the defensive back, whose name we've said a few times today. But he just couldn't get the toe down inbounds.
And great throw, great catch, but then again, that's great coverage there by Mayola, using the sideline as another defender, making sure that Wolf doesn't make that catch inbounds. Just great play all around there.
We'll see if Wolf maybe has his number called again here soon. He's out wide left. George in the slot. And Brian Cook wide right. Flags are thrown. Probably a defensive penalty. The play will continue. And good coverage on the far side of the field from Masai McDonald. Excuse me, Masai McDaniel. That was probably an offsides penalty if they let the play continue like that.
Yeah,
clock stops
play.
at 4 minutes.
Free play for the Yellow Jackets.
So they'll march off the 5-yard penalty. Good recognition of that by Tyler Meglin. Ball is inside the red zone. I think this is the first time all day the Yellow Jackets have offensively put the ball inside the 20. Blake standing behind Meglin, now to his left. Tyler going to keep it. Scrambles to his right. He's got the first down near the 10-yard line as he picks up 8 yards on that scamper.
Nice design on that quarterback draw there. Meglin just steps back, drops, makes them think that he's going past, and just sprints right through that hole that his offensive line created for him.
The ball is at the 11, so he can get a first down without scoring. This is the 8th play of the drive that started all the way back at their own 15-yard line. 3:36 and counting here in the second quarter as the Yellow Jackets look to take the lead with no score. Tyler gets the snap high, hands it to Blake. No, he doesn't. He keeps it. That's a great ball fake. Boy, it really fooled Aaron Johnson, the defensive lineman. Blake on the short carry. Second down and short. Flags are thrown, and I don't think everybody was quite set. Well, the Yellow Jackets sideline's pretty hot. They're going to award a timeout to the Marietta Pioneers. Well, one official threw a flag, but Andy Waddle quickly recognized that he can't really afford to give up any yards too freely there. He'd rather burn one of his timeouts with 3-0.
The Yellow Jackets went to that hurry-up tempo, still stubbing players onto the field. The Yellow Jackets definitely thought they got over on a penalty there, but as you mentioned, Andy Waddle, great job of recognizing his team wasn't set and calling that timeout.
Wow, Heidelberg has put a thumping on Muskingum today. After the Fighting Muskies scored the first touchdown of the game, it's now halftime with Heidelberg leading 42-7.
Yikes.
Mount Union leads Ohio Northern at halftime in Alliance 28-0. John Carroll beating up on Wilmington after losing their first regular season game the last 2 years to a team not named Mount Union. They are beating Wilmington 34-7 just before halftime. And Otterbein leads Capital 35-14. That game is at halftime. This game nearing halftime, the Jackets trying to give themselves a lead. And remember, they do get the ball first to start the second half. Second down, 2 yards to go from the 4. Meglin keeps the football, sneaks through the middle, and he's across the goal line. Touchdown, Baldwin Wallace.
Great job there on the keeper there by the quarterback and captain Tyler Meglin, just keeping that ball and getting right behind that veteran offensive line, getting in there for the end zone. Touchdown for the Yellow Jackets. 6-0, awaiting the extra point by Joe Simonis.
That's a big drive for the Jackets. They went 85 yards in just 8 plays. 3 minutes and 37 seconds. A couple of nice passing plays as Simonis drills the extra point. And Baldwin Wallace here with just 3:03 left in the first half is able to take a 7-0 lead.
In the tale of 2 drives here, we saw Marietta with that 16-play, 64 drive and with the turnover on downs, but this time, as you mentioned, Baldwin Wallace starting on their own 15-yard line, driving it down and finishing off with a touchdown by their senior quarterback, Tyler Meglin.
Well, BW's had 4 drives offensively. 5 plays, 14 yards and a punt. 5 plays, 31 yards and a punt. 3 plays, 8 yards and a punt. And now finally they've strung some things together. And I beg your pardon, it was not 5 plays, 31 yards. It was 5 plays and 19 yards and a punt on that second drive. So they really had only racked up 30 yards of offense or so in those first 3 drives before putting together a 8-play, 85-yard drive for a score. So good work there by Baldwin Wallace. We'll see a kickoff coming here from Riley Jones. Left-footed kicker, drills it near side. McDaniel on the return from around the 15. And he's out of bounds after taking about a 10-yard run. So the Pioneers armed with 2 timeouts and 2:59 left in the half. They'll try to make a move down the field and give themselves something to feel good about going into the locker room. Their first 4 drives of the game have resulted in punt, missed field goal, a 16-play, 64-yard drive that ended with a turnover on downs and then a 3-and-out last time out.
Definitely not the result you want as an offense, putting in so much work, all of these plays, these drives, as you mentioned, that drive last time out, and getting no results from it. Missed field goals, turnover on downs, punts. So definitely look for some results here with about 3 minutes left in the half.
Lucas Havens going to try to make some magic happen for the White and Navy. A low throw to the far side of the field, and that is incomplete. The head referee finally the one to say it's incomplete. Everybody else was going to let it go. Thought that was a pretty easy call.
Yeah, a little bounce pass action there. You can't do that, so definitely incomplete pass. Everybody did pursue to play that ball like it was live, though.
7-0 Yellow Jackets, 2:55 left in the first half. 4 targets for Havens, who licks his hands, checks out the defense, and he'll give the football off. This time Bush over the 30, up to the 31, a 6-yard carry, brings up 3rd and 4.
Third and 4 here on the 31. A lot of these plays we're seeing here from the Pioneers are just handoff and bubble patterns. Havens isn't really looking to throw the ball deep. Maybe look for that here with them in need of a big play.
Well, he did have a big completion in the first drive of the ball game. 47 yards through the air, if I remember correctly. This time, another ball batted at the line. Boy, I wonder if, I mean, you're more the expert than I am. That's like the 3rd or 4th time that the defensive line has batted a ball at the line of scrimmage. Do you think that's a factor of Havens not necessarily being a really tall quarterback, or is that maybe more on the offensive line?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Havens, not the tallest quarterback here as you look at him, 5'11", 180 pounds. But that's also a great job of the defensive line at timing their arms being up at the time of that pass, and a poor job at the offensive line of letting the defensive linemen getting their hands up. As a lineman, you've got to keep those hands down. If the Yellow Jackets come up with the block punt.
A block punt that goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 4 Jackets snuck through the line of scrimmage, and I think the guy that got his hands on it was Brian Stepp.
It was a combination of number 39, Brian Stepp, also number 45, Robert Andronia, and number 22, Johnny McElfresh, 25, Sam Groff, all around that punt. Not quite sure how that happened, but 4 players at the foot of the punt. Block punt puts the ball on the 16-yard line, setting the Yellow Jackets up in the red zone once again.
2 minutes, 9 seconds left, and all of a sudden, boy, the momentum in this game has completely shifted BW's way.
Come out in the Wildcat, Austin Smith in the shotgun, sends Tyler Wolf in the motion.
And he takes it right up the middle, drags a couple defenders, and pushes inside the 10-yard line.
What a game changer that punt was.
Huge. Huge play. Meglin comes back out onto the field here. Remember, Tyler is the team's leading rusher. He's got 7 rushing touchdowns in the season after that one that put the Baldwin Wallace ahead just a minute and a half ago. Clock ticking inside, a minute 35 here in quarter number 2. They stick with the running game. Smith tackled right between the hashes. And it brings up 3rd down and short.
Here comes that hurry-up tempo here from the Yellow Jackets.
They want to get this play off quickly on 3rd and 2. This time Smith stutters, keeps his feet, and he's down inside the 2-yard line. Wow, I thought he was going to be short of the line to gain, but he figured out a way to make it happen. So now 1st and goal, and they'll say it's just outside the 1. Austin Smith is in at running back. He's got 3 rushing scores on the year. Cook, George, and Wolf all in the game at wide receiver. As now the Yellow Jackets try to milk some clock. Why not? You've only got 1 yard to gain, and you like your chances here with 47 seconds left in the half. 8 seconds to get the play off. Meglin hands it to Smith, and he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
No gain there on the halfback dive. Stuffed there by the sophomore defensive lineman, Dalton Seacrest, number 51, the 6'1", 275-pound out of Beesville, Ohio. Timeout, I believe, being awarded to the Yellow Jackets here with 30 seconds left to go in the half. Yellow Jackets are up 7-0 on the Pioneers here in Berea, Ohio.
Homecoming in Berea this week. Only the second home game of the season for the Yellow Jackets, who hosted John Carroll 2 weeks ago in front of a great crowd. The Blue Streaks traveled well, and it was Community Day here in Berea. 5,000 fans. In fact, it may have been slightly over 5,000 fans on hand for that game. And then, of course, today being homecoming, you've got an awful lot of alumni on campus. And they've had a good back-and-forth game to watch today. Baldwin Wallace 2-2 on the year, 2-1 in conference. Marietta 1-3 on the season. They are 1-2 in conference games, coming off a win last week at Wilmington. Both these teams enter this week on a winning note after Baldwin Wallace beat Muskingum a week ago. So second down and goal, right around the 2-yard line. Wildcat look. Blake takes the handoff, and he's in. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. And just like that, a 13-0 lead. Pending the extra point, could be another, could be a full 2-score game. Boy, it feels like it's 100-0. All of a sudden, Marietta has just totally lost it.
Yeah, momentum definitely the way of Baldwin Wallace after the touchdown, block punt, and then another touchdown here by sophomore running back Adam Blake on that design run out of the Wildcat formation. Here is Joe Simonis. Nails the kick after a low snap. Quarterback Tyler Meglin does a great job of handling that off the ground, sitting it down, and putting it in the perfect place for Joe Simonis to nail that extra point, making it 14-0. Baldwin Wallace up here with 20 seconds left to go in the half.
Adam Blake, just his first rushing touchdown of the season, puts the Yellow Jackets up by 2 scores. And the Pioneers need to figure things out. Boy, what a turn of events. It's honestly, it's hard to wrap your head around. I mean, the game was so back and forth, so evenly matched. BW then put together their best drive of the game. They had a couple of nice pass plays on the far side of the field, moved the ball on the ground, put it in the end zone, and then after holding Marietta to a 3-and-out, a block punt changed things drastically.
And then another touchdown, and if I'm not mistaken, BW comes out of the half and receives the ball again.
They do, and remember, Masai McDaniel was injured on that last kickoff return. He is not back there. Heaven Price is back deep. Of course, he's back there alongside Ben Hawkins, who is their primary returner. But it will be Price from the 12. Cuts back to the hash mark, and he's tackled.
It's number 22, John McElfresh, the linebacker, flying in there for the tackle.
So only 21 seconds left here before halftime. Marietta takes over 1st and 10 from their own 20. And I imagine they'll probably just kneel out the clock. Yep, that's what it looks like. And there we go. That's all that needs to be done. So that should do it here as the teams run off the field. And the first half comes to a close. Baldwin Wallace with a 14-0 lead on 2 late second quarter touchdowns. One with 3:03 left and one with just 27 seconds left before halftime. When we come back here in about 20 minutes, we'll give you a full analysis of the first half, give you some first half stats, and look forward to the Yellow Jackets taking the second half kick. Before we break, your thoughts on the first half, partner?
Definitely, from what I've heard, the most competitive game around the OSC today. Seeing great football here throughout the first half. As you mentioned, 2 late half touchdowns for the Yellow Jackets, put them up 14-0, but not to mention great football being played here today at George Finney Stadium.
Certainly been an entertaining game. We look forward to more here in the second half. At the intermission, Baldwin Wallace 14, and Marietta 0. We'll be back in about 20 minutes with our second half kickoff right here on BWYellowJackets.com. Back in Berea for second half action between Baldwin Wallace and Marietta this afternoon in homecoming week here for the Yellow Jackets. Brendan Gulick, Jason Lacey along with you. It's 14-0 Baldwin Wallace on top thanks to two very late first half touchdowns, and they'll have the ball first to start the second half.
Definitely here with Baldwin Wallace looking for them to open up the playbook as we saw them do at the end of the second half. Just started going to different plays than what we had seen them do in the past. A lot of flash fakes, that quarterback draw we saw with Meglin, and then that bubble throw to Trevor George. So definitely see the Yellow Jackets open up the playbook here in this second half to continue to top this lead they have on the Pioneers here right now.
Each team with 8 first half first downs, but the big difference was on third down. Baldwin Wallace only converted one time on third down the whole first half. It was in the first of the 2 touchdown drives. So the Pioneers kick off. This looks like it's going to be returned. It will be from the 18-yard line. Racing up the far sideline, Adam Blake, all the way up to the 45 for the Pioneers. That's a big return by Adam Blake, who had his first rushing touchdown of the season back at the very end of the first half with just 27 seconds left. And he rips off a big return to start half number 2.
And that just adds to that big M for BW. That definitely have that coming in right now. 2 touchdowns at the end of the second half. That pump block, as you mentioned, and that momentum is swinging right now with that big kickoff return to start the ball on the 44 here for the Yellow Jackets.
38-yard kick return at the beginning of the half. We'll see if the Jackets immediately can capitalize on that. A play-action pass. Meglin looking to air it out. A lot of contact and a flag thrown. That one kind of hung up in the air for Tyler Wolf. We've seen some great coverage from Marietta most of the day, but that one not so much.
Not quite sure if that was incidental or not. Couldn't really see from up here, but definitely a lot of contact. Tyler Wolf tangled up with the defensive back there, and
it is going to be pass interference against the Pioneers. The call is whistled against Masai McDaniel. I suppose the good news is that McDaniel's on the field. He had one point, I think fairly late in the second quarter there, returned a kick and had been banged up a little bit and had to leave the ball game, so he is back to start here in the second half. Second play of the second half comes from the 29-yard line of Marietta. Meglin going to keep it. Cuts back to his right a second time. Late flag comes in after the ball is put down right around the 20-yard line. We didn't have very many penalties at all in the whole first half. We've already got 2 here in the second half. These 2 teams combined for 2 first-half penalties. That one might be an offensive foul, and it's a hold on the Yellow Jackets.
definitely not a trend they want to get started with here. As you mentioned, great job in the first half avoiding penalties. Not something you want to do here. Shoot yourself in the foot after a nice scamper there by quarterback Tyler Meglin.
So they're going to put the ball all the way back to the 38-yard line.
Number 19 checks on the field for BW. That's Jordan Leverett, the freshman wide receiver out of John Adams. Checks into the slot right now, number 19.
Yeah, we haven't seen him all game yet. His first action of the day. Meglin gets the snap and immediately throws it to him. We'll see what he can do with some open field. Racing up the far sideline. How about that explosive play?
And Jordan Leverett, the freshman out of Cleveland, John Adams, explosive player, talks to the players about freshmen that they feel like will make a big impact, and his name always comes up. As you can see there, him catching that bubble screen and sprinting forward for the first down, giving the Yellow Jackets the ball on the 17-yard line. Third time they've been in the red zone today.
21-yard pickup by the young freshman. Just a minute and change into the second half. Jackets trying to score. Another fake handoff, screen, or rather I should say slant through to the left side. Tyler Wolf makes the catch, picks up a decent chunk of yards. Should be second down and short. On 2nd and 2, they throw to the left side. This is Cook with the catch. And the score, touchdown Baldwin Wallace.
More of that hurry-up tempo after the completion there to Tyler Wolf. They go right back to the line of scrimmage, line up, stack on the left side of the field with Wolf, Cook, and George. Throw it to Cook on that quick bubble screen, and he runs into the end zone. Powerful run through a couple Marietta defenders and makes it 20-0. Baldwin Wallace awaiting this extra point.
Joe Simonis on for the boot. And it's good. 4-play, 56-yard drive. Finishes off a 8-yard touchdown pass to Brian Cook, who had several touchdowns last week. Finally finds a way into the end zone here today. And how about this? Baldwin Wallace, their first 3 possessions of the game. 5-play, 14-yard drive and a punt. 5-play, 19-yard drive and a punt. 3-play, 8-yard drive and a punt. Their next 3 offensive possessions were a 9-play, 85-yard drive that finished off with a touchdown. A 5-play, 16-yard drive after a blocked punt of Marietta. 5 plays, 16 yards later, BW into the end zone. And then to start this half, 4 plays, 56 yards, and a touchdown. So 3 punts and then 3 touchdowns for this Yellow Jackets team. Maybe the offense starting to figure it out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. In other words, the Yellow Jackets are definitely feeling themselves here right now, coming in, holding a 3-touchdown lead here on the Pioneers. We'll see what their defense can do if they can get this offense back on the field here as the ball is blown off the tee, and they'll have to reset it for the kickoff here. Again, 13:21 left here in this third quarter. The Yellow Jackets lead the Pioneers 21-0.
Kick is
definitely one of their key players coming down on that kickoff team, being the first to the ball again.
Well, today's Yellow Jacket football game brought to you by the Hoffman Group. For all your insurance and risk management needs, call the Hoffman Group today. The turning point in this game was on a 4th down stop by the Yellow Jackets with 10:22 left in the second quarter after a lengthy Marietta drive resulted in a turnover on downs, and since then it's been all BW. Nice little first down carry there from Nick O'Neill. Brings up 2nd down and short.
I believe that might have been Bush there on the carry. Their second back.
Okay. 2nd down and 2. Just under 13 minutes left in the third quarter. Havens from the gun gives it right back to him. Wow, what a hit. Coming in from the near side to make that stop. Yellow Jacket defense swarmed in on him quickly. I think Tyler Burdorf was the first one to hit him.
Here come the swarm chance from the sideline as we have 3rd and short from the Pioneers. Sidelines chinning on their defense here, looking for a stop to keep this momentum going for the Yellow Jackets.
Ian Harmon has had a nice game at defensive tackle as well today. He's been in on a number of big hits. 3rd and short after the 1-yard pickup. O'Neill in the backfield. And I think on the second effort, he's got the first down. All he needed to do was cross that 25, and he's up near the 27. So Marietta, again, converts on 3rd down. They're now 5 of 10 on 3rd down today. Roger Bush back in the ballgame at running back after O'Neill picked up the distance. 21-0 Baldwin Wallace here early second half. Havens on the extended handoff. Bush upended right around the 35. Good tackle there in the second level of the defense. Once again, Tyler Burdorf on the stop.
Definitely something that's been consistent here for the Pioneers is their running game. May not have seen much consistency from their offense as a whole, but their running game something that keeps on churning, and they're keeping it rotating with these 2 backs between Bush and O'Neill.
Alex Smith, Clay Moorfield out wide to the left. A couple targets to the right as well. 2nd down and 2 from the 35. High snap. Havens hands the ball off, and I think they lose a yard. That play blew up pretty quickly. It's now 3rd down and 3.
I wonder if what is going on with the troubles between the quarterback center exchanges. I believe we've seen about 3 or 4 snaps that weren't where they needed to be, and as I mentioned, something that has to happen every play. Quarterback center exchange, something that you've got to have down pat as an offense.
So the Pioneers trying to dig into the playbook here and figure out something that will work for them on 3rd and a long 2, maybe a short 3. Ball is between the 34 and 35. Only 3 seconds to get this play off. And now a delay of game is called. And I got to be honest, I scratching my head a little bit. Well, it looks like they're going to award a timeout to Marietta. You know, the officials were standing over the pile of the ball at the end of that last play, and they let the play clock run down, and they never reset it. I think Andy Waddle is probably saying that same thing. That, truthfully, that's probably an officiating error more than an error on the Pioneers, but they have to burn a timeout. Well, with that, let's take a look around the rest of the conference. We'll see if any of these other games have different scores. Everybody was at halftime just before the Jackets and Pioneers went to the intermission. Muskingum hosting Heidelberg today. That game, late 3rd quarter, is now 49-7. Heidelberg on top. They've scored 49 unanswered. Mount Union is walloping Ohio Northern 37-0 late 3rd quarter. John Carroll, no mercy at home against Wilmington, 41-7. And Otterbein is blowing out Capital in Bexley, 42-21. So this easily the most well-contested game of the day. Haven's going to throw. He's hit as he's throws, and it's complete. That's the tight end, Heineman, over midfield up to the 45. A big pass and catch on 3rd and 3. Moves the sticks all the way to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, one of the bigger plays there for the Pioneer offense. Play action pass there by Havens. Holds those linebackers. I feel like definitely a linebacker jumped out of spots there as he completed that ball into the zone to his tight end, Heineman, his 3rd leading receiver coming into this game.
22 yards on the reception for Heineman. So 2 receivers either direction and a handoff up the middle. Pioneers go nowhere. In fact, they lose a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
Sean Nishwitz, number 15, the outside linebacker, coming from that far side, crashing in on the blitz and meets that back in the backfield. As you mentioned, loss of 1, 2nd and 11. This
is the first of 3 home games in 4 weeks for Baldwin Wallace. They'll host Wilmington next weekend, a 1:30 kickoff with the Quakers. And they'll be home on Halloween as well. They host Capital that week. 9:05 left 3rd quarter, 21-0 Baldwin Wallace. A backwards pass, and now Heineman thought about throwing. Instead, he'll tuck it and run and actually pick up positive yards, but Marietta had trick play on their mind.
Yeah, and BW had trick play on their mind too. Nate Ferster, the senior corner out there, did a great job of covering that as Heineman looked to throw it to Roger Bush, who motioned out of the backfield on that double pass. Great job, Nate Ferster there on that boundary side, stand with his man.
Brings up 3rd down and 4 from the 38. This time both Jared Deep and another tight end move over to the near side. Actually, that's the fullback, Jared Deep, along with Nick Heineman. This time a throw far side, incomplete. Well, he was throwing for Alex Smith, but the pass really wasn't very close to him. And it brings up 4th down. It looks like the Pioneers are going to try to punt this away.
Probably better for Havens that ball was farther away because cornerback Howard Dover had very tight coverage on that play and could have possibly been an interception.
Well, the Pioneers down 3 scores, electing to punt the football reasonably deep in BW territory. You almost wonder here if maybe they're trying to trick the Yellow Jackets, who've already blocked 1 punt today. Just a little pooch punt. A fair catch called for and hauled in safely by Trip Washington. So the Jackets will take over 1st and 10 from the 12. Well, second half, So far, so good for Baldwin Wallace. A 56-yard touchdown drive, and they force a punt.
Yeah, and Baldwin Wallace looking good. 17 rushes for 76 total yards coming out of halftime, 98 total pass yards. You look at Meglin, he's got 30 rushing yards. Austin Smith with 29. Tyler Wolf with 3 catches for 36 yards, 3 catches for 5 yards for Smith, and a catch for 28 yards for Trevor George.
Meglin with 4 receivers, hands the ball off. Adam Blake tried to break a tackle. He's up to 19. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4.
That's freshman linebacker Jeremy Pratt on the tackle, leading their team right now with 8 total tackles. As we approach this 2nd and 3 here, ball on the 19-yard line.
7:45 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Yellow Jackets trying to get over 500 after losing week 1, trying to win basically 3 of 4 from there and put themselves at a nice 3-1 mark in conference play. Meglin adjusting things at the line. Another handoff. This time Blake almost had the football stripped. Instead, into the 2nd level of the defense from the 19 all the way up to the 36. A 17-yard gain and a 1st down.
Hard run and great way to hold on to the ball. As you mentioned, ball nearly stripped out of his hand. He spins out of that tackle and continues to run, something I spoke of here today, yards after contact. Great job there by Adam Blake, keeping those legs churning and picking up that Yellow Jackets 1st down.
Tyler Wolf, Trevor George wide right. Mike Wagner, haven't seen too much of him today. He's out wide left. No Brian Cook on the field. He had a receiving touchdown not long ago. Another handoff to Adam Blake. They just keep calling this kid's number, and look at him go. Wouldn't you? Nicely done. Adam Blake steamrolls up to near midfield for a 10-yard gain and a 1st down.
That's a powerful run there by Blake. Something that he's known for doing. Great job there again. Yards after contact, keeping it moving. Another 1st down. I don't see why they don't call his number again here on this 1st down play.
Blake with 4 carries for 31 yards here in this one. He is the 5 carries for 44 yards. That just updated. Leading rusher in the ballgame for the Jackets. This time a fake handoff. Meglin wants Wolf deep. Just out of his reach. Man, was that a close play.
Right on the tip of his fingers. That ball was right where it needed to be, intended for Wolf. Just not enough room. Diving attempt by Wolf. And he'll come out of the game as he may have got the wind knocked out of him diving for that ball.
Boy, what an excellent effort. Just outstretched his arms a little bit more than maybe he wanted. And couldn't quite pull it in. Good coverage, though, too, from McDaniel. 2nd and 10 from the 49. This time, Meglin keeps it as he goes to his left. A flag is thrown on a big run from Meglin, and he'll be tackled from behind right around the 15, but this one is coming back. Clock stops with 5:50 left. Meglin ran 36 yards down to the 15-yard line. But a hold on the Yellow Jackets is the most costly penalty of the game. That brings them back.
Definitely costly. Explosive run there by Meglin. Showing that run fake, something that Marietta's definitely biting on. It's successful that the run game has been this half. And just hate to see a run like that. Taken back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Ball now on the 40-yard line. Looks more like the 39.
So Meglin ready to go again. That would have been one of his more impressive runs of the season. Tyler on 2nd and 20 with everybody bunched toward the line of scrimmage. Floats it back, a backdoor screen to Adam Blake. He's got out of one tackle, Blake's got the first down across the 40. Big play, a 25-yard gain. Adam Blake having a heck of a day for the Jackets.
And that's a great design there on that backdoor screen play. Meglin rolls to the right. Blake kind of posts off and screens to the left, throws the ball to the left side of the field, and lets Adam Blake run.
Meglin pumps on the screen, now looks down the middle. He's got Wolf just out of his reach again. Tyler lunging for the football but can't pick it up.
And you could tell he really wants Wolf here deep. He must really like that matchup as Wolf is matched up on Christian Mayola.
Clock stops with exactly 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Baldwin Wallace in firm control with a 21-0 lead. They have scored on each of their last 3 offensive possessions after a rather futile start to the game. 2nd and 10, the ball on the 36-yard line of the Pioneers. Looking around. Now ready to go. Keeps it to the left. And he's hit around the 30-yard line. That'll be a 6-yard run. Tyler with 16 runs last week at Muskingum, along with 215 completions. He ran for 80, was a part of 4 touchdowns between his own touchdown run and 3 through the air, and certainly carrying that confidence into this week's game as well. Third down and 4, ball's on the 30-yard line. Motion man, that's Trevor George. Good protection and a nice elusive move. He floats it up for Wolf, and it's incomplete. Man, there's a flag down on the field. I think Meglin is probably shaking his head. He should have just tucked that and gone. Picked up the first down and instead of trying to force something upfield.
Yeah, and he made a great move there as the play was originally designed to roll out to the right, cuts back to the left, and makes a great move to avoid the defender as we're waiting this call on the referee. And with that illegal forward pass, all 3 points of your body have to be in front of the line of scrimmage. As you mentioned, something that I feel like he should have just tucked and ran.
The penalty is declined by the Pioneers, and it brings up 4th down, which is a little bit interesting. Marietta gambling and saying, okay, we'd rather give them one less try instead of back them up. So now it's 4th and 4 from the 30. There was no loss of down on the play. The Yellow Jackets trying to push the tempo here. This is a big play in this ballgame. Marietta's defense desperately needs something to hang their hat on. Baldwin Wallace could almost put this game out of reach if they were to convert. And I think the Yellow Jackets are going to call timeout. So they'll burn their first time out of the half with 4:04 remaining in the third quarter. Today's game brought to you by the Ohio Education Credit Union. Gain the advantage. The Ohio Education Credit Union offers convenience, trust, and value. Build your future with us today. Also brought to you by Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider for Baldwin Wallace University. And finally by the Cleveland Clinic Sports Health Division. They are the official healthcare provider for BW Athletics.
Well, 4 minutes left to go in this third quarter, as you mentioned. What a big 4th down play here, as Marietta really needs to stop here. Really can't afford to give up any more points on the board, and a stop here I feel like will be crucial for their momentum and maybe be able to pick them back up and get back into this ball game.
Yeah, so far this has been an 8-play, 58-yard drive. Started all the way back at Baldwin Wallace's 12-yard line. Just over 4 minutes for the Yellow Jackets, time of possession on this drive, and they could certainly kill more clock here in the third quarter if they could find a way to pick up a much-needed 4 yards. 4th and 4. A hard count did not draw the Pioneers offside. 5 seconds to get it off. Blake with the handoff. It is awfully close to the sticks. I don't know if he got it. Well, we might see another measurement here. We'll have to see where they put it down. It is not even going to be measured. They'll just throw it forward. How about that? Andy Waddle has come out onto the field. Apparently he's disputing the spot, doesn't like it. I mean, he's
all the
10
way
or 15 yards off the sideline. Now the head referee is coming over to say something to him.
Definitely frustrated that that ball wasn't measured there and thought that Blake was stopped prior to that first down. And here comes a measurement now after after Waddle was 10 to 15 yards onto the field. The head referee goes over and says, all right, we'll measure it for you.
It is a first down.
First down.
So the Yellow Jackets with a big play. Adam Blake once again gets it done. I don't know about you. I mean, Tyler Meglin obviously having a great game, but Adam Blake might be in the running for the Frank Rapolo MVP today, player of the game. This time Meglin going to throw. He slips through a sack, throws across his body, incomplete. It was right there, and now another flag is thrown. That's probably a BW penalty. It was in that vicinity. Let's see. An eligible man downfield, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, definitely. Wonder what number that was on that. Again, with this half and the penalties, BW shooting herself in the foot here.
Well, fortunately for the Jackets, they've got a 21-0 lead. But you're right, this has been a sloppy half of football.
In the game again, freshman Jordan Leverett. Keep an eye on him, number 19 in the slot.
So they'll replay the down. It's now 1st and 15. On the fake handoff, Meglin scrambling around, and he's down all the way back at the 48. That is a huge sack.
Definitely not a loss you take. We spoke of the loss you take of penalties, but running back now, ball marked, as you mentioned, at the 40-yard line. That makes it 3rd and a mile.
Second down.
2nd and a mile.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to get all the way down to the 16 for a first down. It is 2nd down and 29.
They'll definitely look to get a portion of this, hopefully pick up half here, as there aren't many plays in the playbook designed to pick up 28 yards.
2:30 left in the third quarter. Baldwin Wallace leads by 3 scores. Only a 3-man rush. Meglin guns it over toward Wagner. Catch is made around the 32. Well, you're right. They picked up just about half that distance on a completion of 13 yards, but still a long way to go.
Definitely more manageable than it would have been without that completion. That's what you got to do in that situation. Pick up about half the yardage. Give himself 3rd and 15 here. So manageable down a distance right now with the ball on the 31-yard line.
Under 2 minutes to play third quarter. Little bit of wind, but not a ton. It is at BW's back here this afternoon. The flag's off to our right, waving just a bit. 3rd and 15. Blake on the handoff, and he stumbles down to about the 25, 26-yard line. So he won't pick up anywhere close to the first down, and it'll be 4th down and 9.
4th and 9 with that run, the clock continues to move, which I don't think is a bad play call by the Yellow Jackets. Continue to keep this clock moving, which is in their favor, them being up 21 points. And we'll see what they come up with here on this 4th and 10.
Closing in on the end of the third quarter. Marietta's hardly had the football here in the second half, just one drive. They ended up punting the football. 4th and 9. Meglin going to run. No, he throws it. I thought he might have been across the line of scrimmage, but it's a first down inside the 10. Boy, he must have tiptoed that line of scrimmage super close. Instead, he pulls a rabbit out of his hat, and they're down to the 6. Boy, this kid's fun to watch.
And this is great by Meglin, because all these teams, when they see him running and scrambling out of the pocket, are thinking run, and everybody's crashing down. But Meglin does a great job keeping his eyes down the field and working his reads as he works back to the backside, finds his senior receiver, Mike Wagner, and converts that first down.
He's been looking for Tyler Wolf a lot throughout the course of the day, but he's got Wagner here. First and goal from the 6. Blake on the handoff. Close to the goal line, and he is just shy of it. Jackets going to hurry up, trying to quickly get the 15th play of this drive off before the Pioneers can get set. But the quarter has ended before they can get the play off. So when Marietta and BW start the fourth quarter, the Jackets will have the ball just shy of the goal line and trying to make it a 4-touchdown game. Boy, the Pioneers, the first few drives of the game, looked like they were going to put together a decent battle, and, man, things have quickly turned around the other way.
Well, I'll even go as far to say as the first 2 quarters minus the last 6 minutes of that second quarter definitely looked like the Pioneers were ready to compete, ready to stay into this ball game. But the farther this is going on, we've seen more BW and less Marietta here at the beginning of the fourth quarter, 21-0, with the Yellow Jackets in front.
Remember, this drive started back with 8 minutes and 7 seconds left in the third. So they've literally marched off half the third quarter on this drive, which started all the way back at BW's 12-yard line.
Big drives here for BW, big drives.
This is the second longest drive of the game from either team. The upcoming play will be the 15th, the drive for the Jackets. Today's game brought to you by Parkway Auto Care in Berea, Strongsville Express Tire and Auto Service, and also a location out in Montville. We serve the southwestern suburbs of Greater Cleveland. Today's game also brought to you by American International. When you require a company with proven performance, you can rely on American International. Second and goal from the 1.
Got Blake in that shotgun, in that wildcat formation again.
He scored out of this position last time. He takes it to the right, and the Pioneers get to him quickly. What a read on the defensive side by Darryl DeWint, the linebacker, who blew through the line of scrimmage to get to him. That's a loss of 4 yards, and now brings up third and goal from the 5.
Well, that's not the way you want to go on the goal line. You've got to go forward. No way, no reason to go sideways. Great job, though, by the Marietta defense sniffing that play out, bringing up this third and goal here on about the 6-yard line.
Head coach John Snell probably left scratching his head after Adam Blake's decision to run east and west on that play. This time, Trevor George is the right sidecar, Blake to the left of Tyler Meglin. George the motion man. Meglin rolls that way, looking to throw, and he's going to take a hit and a sack. You got to be kidding me. It was second and goal from the 1, a 5-yard loss and a 10-yard loss. And now the Jackets are going to try to put a field goal together.
Senior Nick Thompson just great job there of sniffing that out, coming from that defensive end position and just coming right down on Meglin before he could even really make a decision to throw that ball coming out of that fake.
Joe Simonis is on to attempt a 32-yard field goal. He's 0 for 1 on field goal attempts this year, but hit 10 of 12 point-after touchdowns, and he's got this one. Simonis from 32 yards away with 13:28 left in the ballgame makes it 24-0.
Definitely can't be mad at points, but if you're the Yellow Jackets, you've got to be disappointed on how that drive ended. As you mentioned, flipping sides, they have the ball there, right there on the goal line. A tackle for a loss on the handoff to Adam Blake, and then the sack by Tyler Meglin pushed him back and didn't allow them to score, but did come out with points, kicking that field goal, bringing the score to 24-0. The Yellow Jackets are up 13:28 remaining in this game.
That was a 17-play, 73-yard drive that spanned 9 minutes and 39 seconds, but only a field goal. Boy, the Pioneers probably feel pretty fortunate with the way that ended up. They made two big defensive plays, and obviously on the second of those two plays, you can certainly look at the sack and say, well, they came up with the sack, but I think they came up with it because of the coverage. Obviously, Meglin was rolling out, looking toward the end zone, but he didn't have anybody to throw to.
Great coverage. And then something else you go back and mention is the penalties from BW on that drive. If this ball is kicked off and received.
Yep, even Price from the 17 tries the middle of the field. Almost had that football stripped away.
It looked like it was stripped. And
the Pioneers are going to take over 1st and 10. They'll say he was down prior to that.
That's number 35, the senior safety, Austin Steffen there, came up with the ball. I don't think from up here that Heaven Price was down, but the refs on the field saw it differently, and it will be 1st and 10, ball on the 30 for the Pioneers. Just an interesting stat here. Adam Blake had only 2 carries for 7 yards coming out of halftime.
Yeah, and he has really exploded onto the scene here as Marietta takes over 1st and 10. There's a big throw and a bigger hit. Jake Heineman makes the catch and picks up 7, but he was licked right away. By the way, you were talking about Blake. He's got 9 carries for 55 yards in the game. Leading rusher Tyler Meglin, 12 of 19 through the air for $156. We have not seen any turnovers in this ball game, fumbles or interceptions. A poor throw there from Lucas Havens, way too tall. 3rd down and 3. Havens now is 10 of 21 for 99 yards. O'Neal and Bush both with 11 carries for 54 and 42 yards apiece. Ever since that 47-yard pass to Darnell Clem in the first quarter, really haven't seen many big plays from the Pioneer offense. This time a screen near side to Clem. He's got the 1st down up to the 41 after he was annihilated on defense there by Ian Harmon.
Definitely paid for that screen, running back into that defensive front of the Yellow Jackets. Number 92, Ian Harmon, and number 39, Brian Stepp, laid the wood on that play.
This is just the 4th drive of the second half, if you can believe it. Marietta has hardly had the football because BW just effectively ran it up the field. Havens looking deep for Clem, and a beautiful defensive play. Oh, what a play by the cornerback, Nate Forster, perfectly timing that jump and swatting away a would-be touchdown.
And that right there may have been one of the best balls I've seen Havens throw all game. Caught his receiver in stride, but just great defense there by Nate Forster. As you mentioned, timing that jump out, batting that ball away. That's a pass breakup for number 20, Nate Forster, the cornerback.
12:29 left in the 4th quarter. 24-0. Baldwin Wallace in a commanding position here. Havens has another one batted at the line of scrimmage. That's the 4th or 5th time today the Jackets have swatted one away at the line.
And I've counted 5, and I believe that's 2 pass breakups for senior Capital One All-Academic, All-American defensive tackle Lawrence Wolf. Doing a great job there at that defensive line position, is getting his arms up on the smaller quarterback. Bringing up this 3rd and long here for the Pioneers.
It's 3rd and 10. They need to just cross midfield to move the chains. Marietta's been good on 3rd downs today, though. Havens rolling around. Well, he's going to run out of bounds just a yard shy of the line of scrimmage. He'll actually lose a yard on the play.
Feeling pressure there from that left side. That's 46, Jake Maurer. And then number 8, Lawrence Wolf, along with the help of number 29, Jake Carter, helped drive him out of bounds for a loss of 1, bringing up 4th and 11.
That clock stops with 12:16 left here in the 4th quarter, and now we'll continue to tick away. Into punt, Zach Camper. He's been a busy guy today. High snap. He's had one blocked. And this one wailing down the field. Fair catch right around the 30.
So the Yellow Jackets take the field here. Ball on the 30-yard line. Up 24-0 with 12 minutes left to go in this game.
Well, if you're BW, I mean, you certainly like the way things are going right now, but what do you think they can still get better on?
Well, I think that BW can mix up this run game. I know Blake's been your workhorse, but you've got Austin Smith, you've got Isaac Reed. All of these guys can get carries. As you can see now, Austin Smith in the backfield. I think they'll look to spread the wealth on these carries.
Handoff right up the middle, Isaac Reed back to the line of scrimmage. You know, for a guy who at the beginning of the year you really thought was going to be a feature player, he just hasn't seemed to get the majority of the carries on the season. You've seen a whole lot more of Austin Smith and Adam Blake as the season's gone along. You wonder if maybe that's just how those two guys are emerging, and the fact that Reed was, maybe he's still recovering from that injury last year.
Yeah, three carries on the day. I think I've only seen him on the field 2 drives as Austin Smith is in now. Just something you've got to wonder what's going on with your senior captain and not getting those carries as Meglin drops back to pass, escapes the pressure, and is tackled after about a 3-yard gain there by number 10, Joe Ortega, the senior defensive lineman out of Fresno, Texas. But, yeah, as I mentioned, I just got to be frustrating for the senior watching on his senior year after being the only 4-year letterman on this team and sit on the sideline and, see these younger guys get these carries. Just something that he's got to keep a positive attitude about.
3rd down and 6 from the 34. Meglin will bring 4 receivers out on either side of the line of scrimmage. Feeling pressure, he throws right over to the near side. Tommy Fuller with a catch. That's enough to get a first down up to the 45.
Strong hands there by Tommy Fuller, catching that ball right in the midst of Christian Mayella, who had tight defense on the play, but just a great catch and a great throw.
This looks like almost a completely different team in the second half. Baldwin Wallace has been outstanding here in half number 2 on offense. They have forced 2 punts defensively, and this clock is just continuing to tick. Marietta down 24-0, 10 minutes left in the game. Meglin moves the young freshman. Leverett to the far side, cuts around, and he's got a first down. That just seems like the kind of player you just want to find a way to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, definitely speedy there coming out of the wide receiver position. Jordan Leverett, the freshman, getting some looks here today in this game as this is his first game dressing coming off of an injury as well.
Leverett sporting those long yellow sleeves but the pink gloves. See a number of players sporting some kind of pink. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. 9:37 and counting here in the fourth quarter. BDU right now looks like they're cruising toward a nice win here at home. Play action pass. Meglin rolling, throws, looking down the field. Cook in stride, touchdown BW. What a catch.
And, we're seeing a different Tyler Meglin in this game. As I mentioned before, he's not looking to run. Usually on those plays when the pocket breaks down, he tucks that ball and is looking to run. But here today, keeping his eyes downfield, and that time found his wide receiver, Brian Cook, the junior out of Talmadge, Akron, streaking across the field and puts the ball right in stride, allows him to catch that for his second touchdown grab of the game. This is his second straight game with 2 receiving touchdowns as he really came on the scene from his cornerback position as Joe Simonis' extra point attempt is good, putting the Yellow Jackets up 30-0 on the Pioneers here with 9:20 left to go in the fourth quarter.
That drive only took 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 5 plays, 70 yards, a 42-yard touchdown. Tyler Meglin finding Brian Cook in stride. The first time they connected was a bubble screen for only 8 yards, but it got him in the end zone. This time streaking down the middle of the field, and Cook found his way underneath it for the score. And all of a sudden, a game that for a while didn't have any points. Nobody scored until 3 minutes before halftime. And here we are now, middle of the fourth quarter, and Baldwin Wallace has a 31-0 lead.
Yeah, definitely here at the second quarter found myself telling you this was one of the more competitive games in the conference. Now is on the verge of being just like the rest of these games on the conference as BW is looking at a shutout here.
It's been a pretty lopsided day in the OAC. No doubt about that. We'll revisit some of the other scores here in a moment or two. Kick on the way down the field from Riley Jones. It short hops down to the 6. And I believe bringing that up that time was Hunter Rocknich, his second return of the day. It's a final in Muskingum. Heidelberg 52, Muskingum 7. It was 7-0 Muskies. Goodness gracious, that's probably not a surprise, but I don't think anybody expected that game to get that ugly that quickly. Mount Union beat Ohio Northern 51-7. The Polar Bears scored on a 1-yard run with 14 seconds left in the game to ruin the shutout. Just the second score in 5 weeks that the Purple Raiders have given up. Havens on 1st and 10 from the 25 wants to air it out, and he had Heineman wide open, but he missed him, incomplete.
Not quite sure how number 17, Nick Heineman, the junior tight end out of PA, got that open, but streaking right across the middle of the field, right at the 50. Lucas Havens had him overthrowing. Great effort to stretch out and try to catch that one, but just too much on that ball by Lucas Havens.
John Carroll is burying Wilmington right now, 55-7, middle of the fourth quarter in University Heights. And it's 49-28 Otterbein over Capital right now in the fourth quarter. Havens running for his life, and he throws it away.
And he was chased hard there by Anton Richardson, number 90, and Andy Schultz, number 11, off that defensive line, applying great pressure, running for his life there. Lucas Havens was as his 3rd and 10, ball on the 25-yard line, for these Pioneers.
This would be a big win for the Yellow Jackets, who definitely need a little bit of breathing room here in the conference. They, of course, are looking up at Mount Union like everyone else, but to get to 3-1 in the OAC would be astronomical. 3rd and 10. Havens drilled! Oh, my goodness! Andy Schultz knocked Lucas Havens into next year. Holy smokes.
Andy Schultz came flying in off of that left side of the ball, and that definitely causes some controversy between the Pioneers and the Yellow Jackets, as you never want to see your quarterback get hit like that. And Andy Schultz definitely cleaned Lucas Havens' clock there on that sack.
You know, usually you don't see that kind of a violent hit unless it's coming from the quarterback's blind side. You almost wonder how Havens didn't see him coming.
Untouched, and that's what Schultz does. That's his 3rd sack that I've seen just like that on the year, his 4th sack on the year. But the 3rd time, he just comes barreling down from that blind side, sometimes the play side, as we saw from there, and definitely delivers a hit as that's a nice deep punt received by Austin Smith at about the 35-yard line, and he's smacked by number 40 for the Pioneers. That's Dean Myers.
Yeah, that'll fire up the Pioneers, no doubt.
There is laundry on the field, however. I think we're going to have a block in the back on the Yellow Jackets. We'll wait for the official call.
Well, the Yellow Jackets here in the second half. Possessions, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. They'll take over with 7:51 left in the ball game. We'll see what exactly the call was and where the ball will be spotted. It's definitely going to be Yellow Jacket ball, and it looks like an illegal block in the back.
Yellow Jackets will take on the field with senior backup quarterback number 12, Robbie Plegans, running the offense. The senior out of Rocky River, accompanied in the backfield by the senior running back Isaac Reed out of Lehigh Acres, Florida, who we just spoke on.
So Robbie Plagan's going to get a chance to play a little this afternoon. Probably means the day is over.
Also got some
for Tyler Meglin.
Second-team receivers on the field, as I believe the Yellow Jackets have called a timeout. Some confusion on the sideline as this timeout.
Well, real quick before we talk about who else is going out there, since we have a minute here, Tyler Meglin's day appears to be over after a 15 for 22 effort, 222 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And his last pass was his best one, 42 yards to hit Brian Cook right in stride. Obviously, that was nicely done. 10 carries for Meglin for 15 yards and a touchdown as well. Adam Blake, 9 carries, 55 yards and a score. Austin Smith, 7 carries, 29 yards. Cook, 2 catches for 51 and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Wolf, 3 catches, 36 yards. Wagner and Leverett each with a couple of scores. Austin Smith, 3 catches, 5 yards out of the backfield. Plagan's going to hand this ball off. This is Reed with a lot of room to go on the right side. How about that? He crosses midfield. We'll see where they put him out, but a flag down. Oh, boy. BW did not have a penalty the entire first half, and now they have played undisciplined football here despite having a commanding lead.
Negating that great run by Isaac Reed that we spoke of, something he definitely could have used. Great burst of speed there to bounce that run out. Negated by this penalty. Putting the ball on the 36-yard line, making it.
Josh Rice is in the ballgame at right guard. And Andy Sorowski is in the ballgame at right tackle. I wonder if something happened to Nolan Brandt. You still got most of the first-string offensive line in there, but the skill players are rotating around a bit. Plagan's in the pistol, trying to milk some of this clock, 7:14 and counting. Reed looking to the left, and he goes back to the middle of the field. Stopped on the play there by Chase Randolph, the defensive back for Marietta. It'll be second down, and it looks like just 1 yard.
Hurry up tempo here by the Yellow Jackets.
Under 7 minutes to play, 31-0 Baldwin Wallace. Reed again, looking for room on the edge, and he is drilled as he's driven out of bounds after picking up 6.
As we have number 40, the tight end Eric Junker, helmet comes off. He has to come out of the game, of course. Number 82, tight end Dylan Minnick checks in for him.
A couple of other guys out on the field. Chad Steinwachs has checked in at wide receiver. Minnick is not playing tight end right now. He's actually set up in the slot. As we'll take a look here and see what's going on. Looked like the head official wanted to say something, but now he isn't. That was kind of bizarre. 6:29 left in the fourth quarter. It's 1st and 10 BW from the 45 as the Yellow Jackets are on their way to 3-2 here in the first 5 games of the season. I think they're trying to change the time on the clock. They did not reset it after that penalty. 6:42 is what should be on the clock. Here we go. So 1st and 10, now we're ready to rock and roll. If you joined us a little late, I'm Brendan Gulick, Jason Lacey alongside. It has been all Jackets since the 3-minute mark in the second quarter, but a very competitive game prior to that. Reed stuttering, and he's swallowed up. Looked like he had maybe a lane to the right, but quickly Casey Hoon, the defensive lineman, grabbed him by the ankles and stopped him after a 2-yard pickup.
Quick field updates. Number 54, Kevin Jacobs, the junior offensive tackle, checks into the game. Also, number 88, Ty Ramsier, the freshman receiver out of Rittman, checks in at the slot position on this 2nd down and 8 for the Yellow Jackets.
Ramsier and Tommy Fuller go wide to the left here. 2nd down and 8 from their own 47. An offside and a free play. Plagan's going to chuck it up far side, and a second flag is thrown. The first one was for offsides. The second one is a pass interference on Marietta. Holy smokes, this is getting undisciplined on both sides here late.
Yeah, definitely an offsides on the defense. But then after the offsides, Messiah McDaniels just had a handful of jersey there on the Yellow Jacket receiver. I'm not sure if he knew that the flag was already thrown and that was a free play, but definitely not smart.
Well, as you would imagine, the offsides was declined, but the Yellow Jackets will take the 15-yard penalty for pass interference, and that will put the ball now at the 37 or 38, 37-yard line.
Looks like number 13, Messiah McDaniel's day is over. In for him will be number 25, their return specialist, Ben Hawkins.
1st and 10. Ball's on the 37 of Marietta. Clock is ticking at 5:35. Plagan's going to throw. Lobs it to an open target. Caught right around the 10 and down inside the 5. Ty Ramsier, who we just mentioned, just checked into the ballgame with his first catch of the afternoon. Nice job by Plagans there to maintain his composure in the face of that pressure.
First catch of his career, too. Congratulations to Ty for that catch. And Plagans actually had to bobble that snap. Great job. Rolls out, gets his shoulder square to the line, and throws that nice touch pass there to his slot receiver.
Reed in the pistol. And a timeout called by Marietta.
As it seemed that the third quarter kind of flew by, this fourth quarter is kind of dragging with these penalties and this timeouts as we have 5:14 remaining here in the fourth. The Yellow Jackets up 31-0 on the Pioneers.
Well, we mentioned that several of the games have gone final in the conference. Heidelberg beat Muskie 52-7. Mount Union 51-7 over Ohio Northern. And Otterbein is beating Capital 49-34. There is not much time left in that game. The John Carroll and Wilmington game still has 6 minutes left. The Blue Streaks are beating Wilmington 55-14. The Quakers look like they're going to fall to 1-4 here on the season. Yellow Jackets will be tied for second place in the conference with John Carroll, Ohio Northern, as they go into the second half of conference play. After that timeout, Plagans on 1st and goal from the 5. Of course, it's a three-way tie because John Carroll beat BW, BW beat Ohio Northern, and Ohio Northern beat John Carroll. A handoff to Isaac Reed, who's trying to score, but he's just shy, down to the 1. They are going to quickly get back to the line and probably run the same play. We've seen that several times today. This is Reed to the right. He is stood up for a moment and now stops short. 3rd and goal.
Same play. You called it. Marietta's defense just called it as well. Met Isaac Reed in the backfield for that play. Actually think he may have lost a half a yard on that play, bringing up this 3rd and goal with the ball on the 2-yard line.
And remember, the 2nd and goal from the 1 did not go well for BW. A couple possessions ago, they lost 4 yards and then lost 10 yards on the 2 plays that ensued. Well, they kicked a 32-yard field goal, but they were right there trying to punch it in the end zone. We'll see if they can have better success here. 4:10 left in the game. Plagans to Reed, and he's hit quickly. No, it's Plagans who keeps it. What a play-action fake. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. Robbie Plagans with the score. Boy, Isaac Reed not only sold that well, but he took a vicious hit in the backfield as Plagans and Meglin having fun with each other after the touchdown.
A little creative handshake there by the 2 quarterbacks, and as you mentioned, Isaac Reed took a blow. I even thought he had the ball on that play as Robbie Plagans scampers in there for his rushing touchdown, first rushing touchdown on the year. Point after by Joe Simonis is good, making the score now. Yellow Jackets 38, Pioneers 0 with 4:05 left to go here on this fourth quarter.
A 6-play, 70-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 46 seconds off the clock. Robbie Plagans caps it off with a 2-yard touchdown run. Wow. How about what Baldwin Wallace has done after their first 3 drives of the game, which were punt, punt, punt. Since then, touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. All of a sudden, something just straight up clicked.
Something clicked. One of the coaches may have said something. Your senior leadership got guys down here all working together to switch this around. At the beginning of the game, we both mentioned that things looked a little sluggish, a lot of sloppy play. Not the play hasn't been sloppy here with these turnovers, but the offense looks a lot more crisp, and so does the defense.
Riley Jones in to boot away the kickoff. He's been a busy cat today. With a left foot, a nice kick down the field. This will be Price from about the 6-yard line, and he's driven into the turf. Another big play by Brian Stepp on special teams.
This kickoff coverage team doing a great job here today, stopping these returns and wrapping up tackling on the first time as we see some second stringers out here for BW. Cortez Nelson, the freshman in at corner here on the boundary side, and number 27, Tyrone Brenninger, the far side corner.
Lucas Havens still in the ball game as the quarterback. Marietta without a single point to show for their efforts today offensively. Handoff goes up the middle, and this is a new running back for them. That will be Christopher Bledsoe that emerges from the bottom of the pile. Now Bledsoe checks out of the game, and it's going to be Roger Bush back in. So Bledsoe gets his first carry of the day. 3:35 and counting here, fourth quarter. 38-0 Yellow Jackets. Havens checking out the defensive line. Marietta's quarterback lets it fly near side. He's got Bush in motion, and he dropped it. Oh, it hit him in the fingertips super softly, but he didn't make the solid catch, and as he tried to just float it back down, it fell away harmlessly.
That ball may have been too perfect there for Bush as he was able to run in stride, and that ball dropped right in front of him, grabbed it, kind of bobbled it, and then once you bobble it, it's all bad from there. Bringing up this 3rd and 6 here for the Pioneers offense, who has been struggling to throw the ball here today.
Yeah, just 11 of 26 today for Havens. 103 yards, but no interceptions. Running play left side, Bledsoe. Well, he's going to pick up 3 yards on 3rd and 6, but that'll bring up a 4th down.
Sophomore strong safety Kyle Uleman comes down to make that tackle on 3rd down.
So the Pioneers will bring out the punt team here. Fourth and 3 from the 27 with 2:40 left in the game. And they're going to put your boy, the exciting freshman back there, Jordan Leverett, goes back deep along with Trip Washington in an effort to return this punt. Zach Camper boots it away. And Leverett makes the fair catch at the 36. And the drive stalled.
So with 2:20 left to go here in this game, your Yellow Jackets are up 36-0 against the Pioneers. Definitely some exciting play here in the second half for the Yellow Jackets. Coming with these exciting drives, and to me it all started with that block punt, the drive after that touchdown.
Yeah, that certainly was a big spark. No doubt about that.
Sophomore quarterback Robbie Nash in at quarterback right now, and that's big back. I believe that's number 41, Brett Zupanik, the freshman from Columbia Station on that carry.
Zupanik, probably the biggest of the running backs in the stable, gets a chance to carry the ball with 2 minutes left in the homecoming game 2015. I got a feeling the alumni are pretty happy here this afternoon. 38-0. Baldwin Wallace throttling Marietta today here at their home field. Robbie Nash in the shotgun with a running back behind him. That's Zupanik. 2nd down and 5 upcoming. Another handoff, and the big fellow rumbles forward. 7-yard pickup.
Jeez, what a bowling ball down there. Just bouncing off defenders. Number 41, the freshman Zupanik, 5'11", 255 in the backfield. So definitely a force back there in that Yellow Jackets backfield as he picks up that first down. And the Jackets here are just going to.
They could probably kneel out the clock if they wanted. They don't need another first down with just 1:13 left in the game. Marietta only has one timeout, but maybe they'll give these young cats a couple of chances to run maybe another play or two. We'll see. Zupancic steps to the right. Nash hands it to him. No, Nash keeps it, and he almost fumbled. He is sacked behind the line of scrimmage by Chris Otto, the defensive lineman for Marietta. Just 44 seconds left in the game.
96, Chris Otto, actually an alumni from my high school. Shouts out to Huber Houch Rain down in Dayton, Ohio. Tackle for a loss, bringing up that 2nd and 14 for the Yellow Jackets.
This will probably be the last play of the game. 25 seconds left on the clock. Nash waits a little bit longer. Another handoff. Zupancic back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Baldwin Wallace at home on homecoming. 38-0. They blow out Marietta. The Pioneers cannot string back-to-back wins together for the first time under Andy Waddle, so he is now 4-21 in his third year as the head coach at Marietta. And a really pretty impressive win, easily the best full-on four-quarter game of the season for the Yellow Jackets with this 38-0 win. They are now 3-2 overall, 3-1 in conference play, and John Snell picks up his 85th win in his 14th year here at Baldwin Wallace. Jason, we've talked about it basically the last quarter. Just a dominating effort from Baldwin Wallace today.
Yeah, crazy change in momentum for the Yellow Jackets. And that's how powerful momentum is, something I spoke of coming into the game with Marietta coming off of their first win. BW just starts to get in that groove of things, and then that's just something that doesn't stop. Once the guys on that team start gelling together, everybody starts making plays, everybody's happy. When you're scoring, you're being successful, you know you're happy. And a happy team is a good team, as we saw here today in this 38-0 blowout by the Yellow Jackets.
So Marietta now, with that loss, they are 1-4 on the season. They'll go home next week to host John Carroll, a 1:30 kickoff. Baldwin Wallace stays here. They will host Wilmington next weekend. That game also a 1:30 kickoff between the 3-2 Yellow Jackets and the 1-4 Wilmington Quakers. Any final thoughts from you, partner?
Definitely, as we've mentioned plenty of times here before, just great, outstanding second half play here for the Yellow Jackets, and a great way to show that you can fight back from anything. As we saw, 0-0 in the first half, up to 3 minutes to remain, and just something that they can turn completely around at any time, as we just saw here. Running game, passing game, Meglin, Cook, Wolf, Smith, Blake, all of those weapons, everybody just kind of put together a joint effort to bring the Yellow Jackets back in this game today.
It certainly was a fun game for Baldwin Wallace. Well, today's game brought to you by the Comfort Inn in Middleburg Heights, where your comfort is just a part of the service we provide our guests, and also by the Courtyard Marriott and Town Place Suites in Middleburg Heights. Have you stayed at a Marriott? If not, we hope to see you soon. Our final score today, Baldwin Wallace 38, Marietta 0. For Jason Lacey, I'm Brendan Gulick. We'll talk to you next Saturday afternoon when the Wilmington Quakers come to town and the Yellow Jackets look to string together their third consecutive win. Have a great weekend, and thanks for making our football coverage part of your afternoon here on BWYellowJackets.com. So long, everybody.